Welcome, dear viewer, to the grand spectacle that is life. Not your life specifically, mind you, but the abstract, nebulous concept of life. Today, we're going to explore the game of life. No, not the board game where you end up with a pink plastic car and a questionable career choice, but the real deal. The cosmic lottery, the universe's ultimate reality TV show where the stakes are high and the rules are, well, mostly made up as we go along. Imagine you've just spawned in. You pop into existence, screaming and naked, with no idea what's going on. Welcome to Level 1, the tutorial. Here you'll learn the basics, how to eat, sleep, and cry when your favorite toy mysteriously vanishes. Ah yes, the early years. Think of them as the game's way of saying, here, have some time to figure out the controls. As you progress, you'll encounter various NPCs. That's non-player characters for the uninitiated, like parents, siblings, and the occasional family pet that may or may not be plotting your demise. But don't get too comfortable. Soon enough, you'll hit Level 10, School. Here, you're expected to absorb vast quantities of largely useless information while navigating a social hierarchy more complex than a soap opera plot. Then comes the awkward stage, Level 13, Puberty. Your body decides to play a cruel joke, throwing hormones into the mix and transforming you from a relatively sane individual into a creature of pure chaos and confusion. A time of paradoxes and perplexities, where you're too old to be a child, but too young to be an adult. School becomes an epic quest filled with exams, group projects, and the dreaded gym class. Your teachers and parents keep reminding you that these are the best years, which is either a comforting lie or a cruel joke, depending on the day. Romantic interests pop up, adding another layer of complexity. Whether it's the thrill of a first crush or the heartbreak of unrequited love, these experiences are both exhilarating and excruciating. Each relationship, no matter how brief, feels like it has the weight of the universe. And let's not forget the existential dread of future planning. Adults keep asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? As if you have any clue. Career choices, college applications, and the pressure to succeed can feel overwhelming. Survive this, and you're on to Level 18, Adulthood, where you'll be handed a diploma and a hearty slap on the back as you're shoved into the cold, unforgiving world of bills, taxes, and the existential dread of finding your true purpose. You start with high hopes, a bit of optimism, and a whole lot of student debt. Your mission? To navigate the minefield of adulthood without losing your sanity. First up, find a job. You'll send out countless resumes, attend awkward interviews, and possibly end up in a job that feels more like a soul-sucking vortex than a career. But hey, it pays the bills. And speaking of bills, get ready for an endless parade of them. Rent, utilities, insurance, and the mysterious miscellaneous category that seems to devour your paycheck. Eventually, you'll settle into some sort of routine. Maybe you'll climb the corporate ladder, start your own business, or become a world-renowned llama whisperer. Whatever floats your metaphorical boat. Along the way, you'll deal with the joys of budgeting, meal prepping, and pretending to know what a 401k is. And let's not forget about relationships. The game throws in a delightful mix of potential partners, each with their own quirks and baggage. Dating in the modern age is like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded, but with practice and a bit of luck, you might find someone to share your player 2 slot. Then, of course, there's the challenge of maintaining work-life balance. It's like walking a tightrope while juggling flaming swords. Your job demands productivity, your family craves quality time, and you just want 5 minutes to relax without thinking about deadlines or dirty dishes. As your career progresses, you might encounter a period where you question everything. Your job, your relationships, your life choices. You might buy a sports car, take up an exotic hobby, or simply contemplate the meaning of existence while binge-watching nature documentaries or YouTube videos. Welcome to the midlife crisis, Level 40. Think of it as the game's way of throwing in a major plot twist right when you thought you had everything figured out. One moment, you're cruising through life with a decent job, a stable relationship, and a reasonably predictable routine. The next, you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering where the time went and why you didn't become a rock star. Some people respond to this existential turmoil by making drastic changes. You might see someone in their 40s suddenly trading in their sensible sedan for a shiny red sports car. It's a cliché, but clichés exist for a reason. That new car isn't just a vehicle, it's a symbol of lost youth, a physical manifestation of the desire to feel alive and rebellious again. Others might dive headfirst into new hobbies or passions. Ever wanted to learn how to play the ukulele, take up skydiving, or master the art of French cooking? Now's the time. These pursuits are not just distractions, they're quests for meaning and fulfillment, an attempt to rediscover the joy of learning and growing. Relationships are also put under the microscope. The midlife crisis often sparks a reevaluation of personal connections. Are you truly happy with your partner? Do your friendships fulfill you? This period can lead to strengthening bonds, mending broken relationships, or, in some cases, making the painful decision to move on. Eventually, you might reach the pinnacle of your career, achieve your long-term goals, and finally feel a sense of accomplishment. But even if you don't, remember that it's not about finishing the game, but enjoying it. It's about growing, learning, and finding joy in the everyday moments. Fast forward a few years, and you'll reach the final levels of the game. Some call it retirement, others, the golden years. It's the part of the game where you get to slow down, reflect, and hopefully enjoy the fruits of your labor. Level 65, the golden years. By now, you've probably accumulated a treasure trove of memories, a few scars, and perhaps a bit of wisdom. You get to kick back, enjoy your hobbies, and maybe spoil a grandkid or two. But the game isn't quite over. You'll face new challenges, staying healthy, finding purpose in a slower pace of life, and dealing with the inevitable goodbyes as friends and family move on to the next great adventure. Ultimately, the game winds down. You've played your part, told your story, and now it's time for the final curtain call. There's a certain beauty in the finiteness of it all. A reminder that every game, no matter how wonderful, must eventually come to an end. So what's the takeaway from all this? The game of life is weird, unpredictable, and often downright unfair. But it's also beautiful, hilarious, and filled with moments of sheer joy that make all the chaos worthwhile. Play it well and remember, in the end, none of us get out alive anyway. So you might as well enjoy the ride.